I'm back. It's been a while. Welcome back to the coding train. I do not have my train whistle. This is not a good start for today. But the reason why I don't have my train whistle, although I brought everything back to the studio here, is because I was at this wonderful event called the I/O Festival in Minneapolis. It's one of the reasons why I haven't live streamed for a while. There I actually did a 45-minute live coding demo in a theater in front of 100+ people. It was recorded. You can hear me. It was recorded, and that video will come out later this summer. I'm kind of really excited for the video to come out, and also to a bunch of the different tools and techniques that I used in that demo, I'm going to start using on this channel as well. Today is something of a, let me just get back in the saddle a little bit. I feel out of sorts. I haven't live streamed for a while. I was actually kind of nervous this morning as I was kind of getting my stuff together and trying to get into work today to New York University, where I have my day job. It is summer, and the good thing about summer is it opens up some more time for me to be experimental with new ideas and new topics, and in theory more live streaming, but that hasn't come to fruition yet. But I did make some notes about some things that I wanted to talk about here today. And then I'm going to, Simon is writing in the chat the first time in 29 days. Wow. Well, so that's good. So it's been less than a month. A lot of new content has come out on the channel since I last live streamed, so I wanted to mention that. But before I move on, I just want to quickly give a shout out and a thank you to today's live stream sponsor, Brilliant.org. If you have never been to the Brilliant website before, it is a website full of daily puzzles and challenges and courses, math and science, and in particular, they have a lot of new content around computer programming and computer science. So you can sign up at brilliant.org/codingtrain. That lets them know you found it from here and helps me out a little bit. It's free to sign up, and then they also have a premium service that unlocks all the content on the website, and the first 200 subscribers who sign up through that URL will get 20% off. So I'm going to come back in about an hour in the middle of this live stream and pick one of the daily challenges to solve with you or by myself. I don't know. Are we together? It's very confusing. I feel like I'm with you. But all you are to me is this little round glass lens that I kind of stare straight into longingly, wanting to meet you in person. Although many of you I did meet. In fact, I did meet a bunch of you at the I/O Festival. Deep breath. So I'll come back and talk more about Brilliant. Thanks so much. This has really opened up a lot of possibilities for things that I can do with this coding train thing. Thank you to Brilliant again. And let's see. Okay, so that's why I didn't have the train whistle, because I brought my train whistle with me to Minneapolis, to the I/O Festival. And I didn't leave it there, but apparently I left it in my apartment because I brought a giant bag, all this stuff back with me. I brought my ukulele. I brought this bag. Look, I even have like a YouTube branded bag that I carry around with me now. I brought my random numbers book, everything. No, just no train whistle, but I do have a bell. That'll get us somewhere. All right, what else do I want to talk about here? I could wear my I/O badge. Ooh, other things. Look, I just want to point out that the I/O Festival really knows me really well. When I arrived, a little thank you or welcome note was in my hotel. Has a lot of nice information in it, and this is what was on it. Isn't that lovely? So we're going to ease back into things today. I'm going to do a pretty beginner-friendly example. I'm going to go old school coding train and back into a simple game coding challenge and do the Google Chrome Dinosaur game. But let me talk about some things I have here on my list. All right, most importantly, perhaps, I want to tell you about something. And actually, I'm going to just play a video for you. I have to change the sound settings so that you hear them. I think if I go to multi-output device, you're going to hear the sound now. I'm going to open up the browser. So this is actually still unlisted. I should make the playlist listed This is a new series that now has 20 videos in it. I would say half of those videos are publicly listed under the channel homepage. So if I go to youtube.com/thecodingtrain, you can see a lot of my recent uploads have been these videos: 2.7, 3.1, API calls, project wrap-up, accessibility design. I am releasing a new series, a course if you will. It's 20 videos long about working with data and APIs, in particular with native JavaScript, with some new JavaScript libraries, and server-side in Node.js. So this to me is really a follow-up of your first learn to program. So if you're learning to program with JavaScript, client-side, P5.js, this is, by the way, where you should point people. There's lots of other resources on the internet also, but if you're looking to point new beginner programmers to something on the coding train, this is what you want to point them to. Code, program with P5.js. That's the complete beginner series. Now I have an intermediate series that kind of goes to the next level, does some stuff without P5 a lot. It's actually almost all without P5. And so actually I could keep explaining it to you, but there's a little nice trailer or 2-minute introduction video that is unlisted with no thumbnail. That's the YouTube automated thumbnail. And I'm just going to play this for you now. And then I have hello and welcome to a new course on the coding train called Working with Data and APIs in JavaScript. So this I imagine as a wonderful next step for you. Are you a beginner programmer? Did you maybe just learn JavaScript maybe by watching my code programming with P5.js for beginners video
recorded
series?
Dan.
This is a place for you to take a next step.
I got a
in particular
haircut,
themed around working with data. I'm going to look at tabular data, CSV, what's a CSV, JSON data, what's JSON. But all of that is really just the warm-up, the opening act for the main event, the main attraction, what you're really here to see, which is server-side programming with Node. If you've only ever done P5.js or other types of client-side JavaScript programming, you're missing a big piece of the puzzle in terms of the kinds of web applications that you can build. All the material for this course is broken down into 3 modules. The first module is just some client-side JavaScript basics, some native JavaScript, building blocks for what I'm going to do in modules 2 and 3. And there I'm going to build full stack web applications. The 2 projects I'm going to make, one is called the Data Selfie app and the other one is called The Weather Here. They're both based on projects by Joey Lee, who developed these sample projects as part of his teaching at ITP in a course called Quant Humanists. So I'm going to go from start to finish to build 2 web applications for you, and hopefully you'll be able to build on what I make and create your own web applications. If you happen to make a project, your own creative project, you can go to thecodingtrain.com where there's a page for the course, and you'll be able to share links to the projects you make there. Before I get started with Module 1, there's one more introductory video that will come next. That's just going to go over what do you need to have installed on your computer, what kind of tools do you need, what kind of prerequisite knowledge you need to have before you get started with the video. So take a look at that, and hope you enjoy this ride on the coding train, working with data and APIs in JavaScript. Choo-choo! Okay. So one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight this morning is, one, I'm hoping that this was done in a very different way. Almost all of this content, actually all of this content, apologies, was not done in a live stream. I recorded it offline. If you feel so inclined and want to join as a member or a patron of the Coding Train, I do broadcast sort of with an unlisted live stream a bunch of the recording sessions. It's not as, I don't know if anything I do is interesting to watch. Apparently somewhat is, but a lot of it is me just standing in front of a green screen, so it's a little bit more of a peek behind the scenes. But so if you're thinking, sometimes I have redundant content because it's a live stream, then it's an edited version. You wouldn't have seen any of this already. And one of the reasons why I'm sort of pitching this to you right now is, interestingly enough, it's not I've been releasing these videos about 1 per day over the last couple weeks, and the viewership on them is, I don't know, maybe a half or a quarter of what the coding challenge videos are, which makes sense, and I'm not necessarily here purely to optimize for clicks and views. I'm here to try to create an educational YouTube channel, and sometimes that results in videos like that snake game video that apparently 2 million people have watched, and sometimes it's a more obscure topic that a few thousand people have watched, which is still a very big number and kind of amazing to me. So, I did just want to mention it because, I don't know, maybe it's just to ask people to check it out. and share it and encourage friends who might, or colleagues or family members or whoever you know, random person on the street that you bump into who is like, you know what I really like to know? How to do server-side programming, JavaScript with Node. So, and of course, feedback is welcome. So I will, let me see, can I easily post this link into the chat? I think I can. So I'm going to post this link into the chat. No, that's me. This is very confusing. I'm going to my homepage. I'm going to the live stream. Family members or whoever you know. Which is me in the past. And then I'm going to paste this here. And there you go. Did it get hidden? No. So there you go. Boy, the chat is really, be nice to each other, everybody. Fill the internet, fill the YouTube chat and comments world with kindness and welcoming energy today, please, if you will. I would really love that. Okay. So, all right, so check. I talked about that. What time is it? 10:45. All right. I talked about Brilliant. Check. Summer schedule. Let me mention to you summer schedule. So I am planning three live streams in June, one of which you are watching right now. It is today. The next one will be a week from tomorrow, so Friday. And then the one after that, I can't remember. I think it's going to be Tuesday. So stay tuned. People, you're overwhelmed with subscriptions and notifications and all sorts of stuff. So turn your Do Not Disturb on, take a break from the computer. But if you really want to know when I'll be live streaming next, probably the easiest way would be to subscribe, and I will demonstrate this to you. Click that alarm bell thing because you will get a notification. Oh, I sound like one of these YouTubers that my kids watch. All they do is talk about clicking the alarm bell. Okay. Dan TDM. There's some awesome DIY craft videos. I watch a lot of craft videos and a lot of game videos. Not me, but with my children. Okay, in case you're wondering. Okay, summer schedule. All right, now, this is Wednesday, not Tuesday. Thank you. Simon has reminded me because I published the schedule in the Coding Train patron member Slack channel. Oh! Something else I really should mention. Coding Train has a new community manager, Cy. So Cy just got started. I met Cy, spelled C-Y, at I.O. Festival, and Cy is in the process of moving to New York. Will be helping me with mailings of stickers and books and rewards and patrons and memberships and descriptions and thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. So you can check out... You can check out twitter.com/thecodingtrain. This social media account is now run by Cy. And so tweet at the Coding Train, say hello, welcome Cy, welcome to the community. Excited to be working with you. And then also brand new, if we go to Instagram, I don't use Instagram, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. I think it's Coding Train _. Someone could help us figure out how to get Coding Train. Let's see if this pulls something up. Do I have to log in? Hello, welcome to watching an old person use social media. Let's find the Instagram Coding Train account. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, the Coding Train. Who is this? This is somebody. We want this account back. Can't get access to that one. I thought it was Coding Train. Is it the Coding Train _? There we go. It's the Coding Train _. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Old person here has figured out how to use social media and the internet. So you can see there's only 3 posts. We do have 161 followers. And you can see this is a nice little post. This is a AI-generated rainbow. It's generated using something called StyleGAN. It was trained on several thousand images of rainbows tagged on Flickr. I hope to come back and do some videos about how to train your own machine learning rainbow generator. But I will come back to that. Not today, but coming soon this summer, using a tool called Runway ML. So Runway ML is a application, let me just mention it really briefly. I'll just pull it. It actually is in now public beta. You can see, look at this. What I love about this is, look, here we are on the Runway website. Little like screenshot of Runway in action. It's doing, I think, like maybe dense pose. And look at this over here. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. Oh, look, Nature of Code by Daniel Schiffman. Just in the photo, just subtly, just like sitting over there quietly in the stack. Of course, also processing in case you resubmit. Oh, a nice little Saul LeWitt book. Anyway, all right. So I encourage you to check out Runway. I'm definitely going to be doing more videos with Runway coming soon. And I'm an informal advisor to the company. So to be transparent about that. Okay. There we go. What else? Oh, right. Now, ml5js.org. ml5 is a friendly machine learning library for the web. It's built on top of TensorFlow.js. I have talked about it. I have made videos about it. There recently was a big new release. I think it's version, well, we'll find out. I'm going to go to Getting Started. It is version 0.3.1 currently. So there are many new features. But before I show you what some of these features are, let me just quickly, I want to thank, this is a brand new website. Let me thank Milan and Nicole and Arnab. Milan and Nicole are recent graduates of Parsons. Arnab is an ITP student. Wen Chi is an ITP researcher, so is Joey. And then there's this weirdo named Dan, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, Schiefman, I think it is. So check out this new website. We've done a lot of work to relaunch the website to make it more clear, to add better examples, better documentation. I'm going to use this in a video tutorial today, but what's really, I think, the most exciting thing is if you go here under reference, previously ML5 just had maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6 features, and now it has many more. So you can see you can use, there's an image classifier, there's PoseNet, body pics, and the UNet models. Thank you to Zaid, let's see, on Twitter, Zaid Al, he was an AI researcher from Yemen, I believe. This is Zaid Al Yafe, who is working from home right now. Don't bother Zaid. Zaid contributed the UNet model. We have a conditional variational autoencoder. You can actually run a GAN, a generative adversarial network, the style transfer sketch RNN. There's now a sound classifier. I'm going to use this today in a video. I am in a video, and some more features. So I encourage you to check out the website, poke around, join in the discussion on GitHub, and I will be making many more videos with this library over the summer. Okay, so let me close this down. Check. All right, so I have a project that I really want to do that I'm hoping that I'm going to get started with today, although time is running short. As many of you know, I am, everywhere I go on the internet, it's just me doing this. Processing is a Java-based tool. See the icon right over here, the application, software sketchbook, if you will. I use it in a lot of my coding challenges and projects and tutorials. There is a way to extend processing with libraries. And I have made a few libraries in my youth. Let's see if we can find anything. Well, I'm maintaining that one. I made this QR code library that really probably needs updating. Oh, all these are so out of date. Oh boy. Oh my God, this isn't even a thing anymore. It's still on the website. Anyway, Box2D, here's one that I'm actually maintaining. Not Box2D itself, just a thin wrapper on JBox2D to connect Box2D and processing. So why am I talking about this? I have really wanted to make a series about how to build a processing library, how to basically create and compile a Java library that can be imported into processing directly. Most of my energy and time in my courses and teaching is sort of moving towards JavaScript. Processing is my first love, and I still use it for a ton of stuff. And there are fewer maybe Java developers in the creative coding world, but I know a lot of you viewers still use processing quite a bit. And I think it's, I just want to have made this tutorial series, even if it's not the sort of most popular or prime time cutting edge thing to do. I think it'll be useful. And so I thought what I would do with that is make a library that allows you to just use open simplex noise very easily in processing. And if you have no idea what open simplex noise is, that would be a completely reasonable thing to wonder. But I've made some videos about that, so you could go back and look at my open simplex noise videos. That video is how I found you. David is asking, I know David is really hoping for the processing library. It's always the one that gets pushed out. And he's saying, am I doing the dinosaur game first or the processing library? I'm going to do the dinosaur game first, which admittedly means I might not get to the processing library today, but I'm committed to doing it this summer sometime. Okay. Whew. I need a player for the dinosaur game. I think, Nola is asking, how long does it take before you get the Slack invite? All right, Nola, let's, let me, whoops, why am I typing here? Let's get in contact about that. Okay, so I think this is going to be my, the equivalent of the dinosaur. So let's just put this, a copy of this on the desktop. Let's use this as the background. And what should the dinosaur have to jump over? Should it be trains? Like the trains coming at, let's make them trains. Oh, but the cactus, the thing about the cactus is there are multiple ones, right? Let's play the dinosaur game. Can I just go to like Chrome Dino or something like that? Oh, well that'll work. Oh yeah. All right, let's see what score I get. That was pretty bad. Okay, let's try it again. My high score is 47. And am I going to get really popular now that I'm a gaming live streamer? I'm going to have like hundreds of millions of subscribers. This is a problem because this game is not that hard. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to mess up eventually. I could just tell that they're like, I should just check my subscriber analytics. I'm sure it's just going through the roof. I'm basically like, you know, the most popular gaming YouTuber ever. Oh wait, whoa, it got to be nighttime. I've never made it this far. I mean, I've never actually played this before. Does it get harder? Oh, it's daytime again? What happens if I hit one of those flying thingies? Pterodactyls are... Oh, okay, there we go. Birds. Okay, the pterodactyls. Okay. I didn't realize I had to jump over that. Oh, the sound effects are quite loud. Thank you for pointing that out. Let me turn that off now. I'm just going to go back to this. Okay. Oh, the video is how the video on the homepage of processing says Simon. All right. The Chrome version starts to get harder over time. All right. All right, so I need some sort of thing to jump over. I suppose the logical thing would be like what's in the coding train world. I don't want to get too tripped up on this. I feel like the train is a good idea. Let's just use the train. Okay, so I'm going to take this and put this on the desktop. So this is the train, and this is the dino. It's not really a dino. We'll call it unicorn. And let me just move this stuff out of the way that I don't need anymore on the desktop. What's this? All right. Okay. So I have background. I have train. Oh, can I flip in Mac Preview? Can I flip this? I can obviously flip it as I'm drawing it. This is really important. What's the easiest way to flip an image? You would think that I know how to use the computer by now. I mean, I know I could do it with Photoshop. Do I have Photoshop on this computer? Oh, that's going to be crazy to open up Photoshop. Not a sponsor. All right, why not? Apparently it works on my computer. Image transform. Isn't there a image rotation? Flip canvas horizontal. There we go. Ooh, that looks weird. No, that's how a train would go that way. Okay. Train, unicorn, background, and here we go. All right. Now, crazily, you think that I'm about to show you the dinosaur game, but I'm not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick tutorial that will add to, how are there 700? How is this even possible? What's wrong with you people? Go. There's a whole world out there of things. I'm looking for beginner's guide to, I'm looking for beginner's guide, a created playlist. Here we go. This. Hello. Yikes. Okay. All right, this is what I'm looking for. I'm going to make a quick tutorial that will go as number 11 in this playlist. And we're going to go here. And I am going to leave this to the side, leave this to the side. Actually, let me just close these things because I can get them back later. And actually, so now I want to, let me rename this, sound classifier. Okay. Welcome back to the coding train, as per usual, where I'm completely unprepared to do anything, and I have not practiced or rehearsed or planned this at all, and yet somehow I'm going to make some tutorial video. Okay. Let me go to, I need to pull up another URL. Simple audio recognition, speech commands. This is what I'm looking for. All right. So let's open this. It's common voice data set. All right. And let me just make sure the reference page, I know, has what I'm looking for. Okay. Yep. Speech commands LAW. Okay. Oh, it does not. So oh, yes, it does. Okay, great. All right. Does this actually work, by the way? No, interestingly. So this is, by the way, this is definitely something we need to fix. the speech commands embed doesn't work on the page. Someone wants to file a GitHub issue on the ml5 website, you're welcome to. All right, so we're going back to home. All right. All right, here we are. Okay. All right. Oh, okay, everybody stretch. Oh, by the way, I'm signed up to run the New York City Marathon this fall. So I'm in okay shape in terms of running, but obviously I'm not trained at all for that long of a distance. But mainly I have like back issues. So I think I need to do a lot of like core strengthening. So bug me about that. Remind me about that. I'll talk more about marathon training. I was thinking of doing like maybe a fundraiser for Processing Foundation. We'll see. More about that to come. All right. What's it, like 3 in the afternoon now? Okay, it's 11 o'clock. Not so terrible. All right. Hello, welcome to another beginner's, ow! And there goes my injury. Wait, this really, there we go, let's do this. All right, all right. Let's do this. This is better, okay. Hello and welcome to another beginner's guide to machine learning with ml5.js in JavaScript. So I'm here, it's been a while since I added a video to this playlist, and a bunch of things about the ml5 library itself have changed. There's a new release, 0.3.1. There is a brand new website, which you can find right here at ml5js.org. So to some extent, this video is really an update about the library, but I'm also going to look at one particular feature, a new feature of the library, sound classification. And so that's my opening. So here's the thing. So what I did with the, just so you know, what I did with the data and APIs series is I did stuff like that, but I just did it with the green screen behind me, not live streaming. And then Mathieu, who's the Coding Train video editor, put together animations and screenshots and things, which I think actually is a really good result. But it's definitely a lot of work and time production-wise to do that. So for right now, I'm just going to continue with my normal methodology. But I'm going to pause at little moments where I know we could edit to the next thing that I'm going to talk about, which will be this. So let me make this bigger. Okay. All right. The machine learning model, okay. What am I trying to say next? All right. The machine learning model that I'm going to use in this video is the speech command recognizer, and this is a model available from Google as part of TensorFlow JS models. Now, so this is a really important distinction. I am not here to train a sound classifier. I might do that in a future video and show you about how to apply transfer learning, which is something I did with images, also to sounds. I'm just going to make use of a freely available pre-trained machine learning model. And anytime you use one of those things, even in just a playful and experimental way, which is what I'm doing, it's good to do a little bit of research and take a look at, like, well, how is this trained? What was the data? What are the considerations around how the data was collected? And so I encourage you to read through the README here on GitHub, and in particular to click over and read the original paper about this speech commands model. And there you'll see, if you look, it talks about some of the data sets, like Mozilla's Common Voice data set, 500 hours from 20,000 different people. This Libri speech, 1,000 hours of read English speech, I don't know how to say this, t digits, 25,000 digit sequences, which apparently was probably me, right? It's just like hours and hours of me reading this random number book over and over again. But so I encourage you to check out this paper. And you can also find code for how to use this model at TensorFlow.js in the TFJS models GitHub repo itself. However, I'm going to show you how to access this model in a quick way with the ml5 library. And this is the new, as of today, which is, I don't know, what's today's date? June 13th, 2019. I'm going to show you how to use this with the ml5 library as it stands today. So I'm going to click here under reference. One thing you should see, there's a lot of new features have been added to the ml5 library. I'm going to come back and do videos about more of those. But the one I want to highlight here is sound classifier. So I'm going to click on this, and for all of the different functions available in ml5, you'll find a documentation page with some narrative documentation, a little bit of a code snippet, and then some written documentation about what the function names are and the various parameters and things like that. And by the way, I'm noticing now, this will hopefully not read, this is like a mistake. This is documentation that's actually for either body pics or maybe the UNet model, which does something called image segmentation, so we've got to get that fixed. I'm sure many GitHub issues and fixes will be out and done by the time you see this. Unless you're watching it right now, I'm live streaming. All right. Yeah, so time out for a second. Rawstall is asking me in the Patreon group, I don't get why you don't just record the green background and live cast the combined image. And Alco rightly responds, Open Broadcast Studio doesn't do that. However, this is the other thing that I forgot on my list that I meant to talk about today. This studio where I am right now is going to be gone at the end of this month. So actually later today, I'm coming back and doing a documentation video about this setup to preserve it. I know people have been asking for that for a long time. I have this really crappy version that I did with my phone, but I'm going to do a more produced version of documenting this studio. And I'm going to be setting up to record later this summer somewhere else, a little TBD about that. But I'm hoping to get some new equipment and maybe get some equipment that allows me to record multiple camera feeds at the same time so I can live stream and then also re-edit later. Yeah, Nola says, I know I'm off track here, but Nola says he promised to read his entire random number book when he reaches 1 million subscribers, which I still hold true to that promise. I just don't know how to do that because math-wise it would take days, I think. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do exactly, but maybe I'll just read 1 million digits of pi. It's not as exciting. I could build a program to live stream me reading the digits from the book. That's not a bad idea. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So in case you've forgotten how to use the ml5 library, I'm just going to show you as it's documented on the ml5 web page. So first of all, you can go here to this quick start, and you can actually just click on this Open P5 web editor sketch with ml5.js added. You know what? I'm going to do that. That's the way I'm going to do it. But you also could just put a script tag in your HTML page referencing the current version of the library, which, as I said, is 0.3.1 as of today. But probably while you're watching it, it'll be a higher number. So let me go and just open up this link here. And now I'm in the P5 web editor. You can see the name of the sketch is ml5.js boilerplate. Thank you, Joey Lee, who's a contributor to ml5, has done a ton of work on the website and all of the different features. Oh, this should actually be 3.1. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to rename it to sound classifier. And I am going to then go over here and go to sketch.js. And I'm going to run this, and we should see, there we go. So now we know it's working because there's a little console log to log ml5.version. If I hadn't imported the ml5 library, I wouldn't see that. We see that here. So what are we going to do? Let's load the sound classifier. Now, most of the models, I haven't been using this in my previous videos, most of the models in ML5 are now actually available to you in preload, meaning you don't need a callback function. You can just load the model in preload and it'll be ready by the time you get to setup. So I'm going to make a variable called sound classifier. In preload, I'm going to say sound classifier equals ml5 sound classifier. Now I need to tell it what model I want to load. So I need to, in here, put the name of the model I want to load. And in theory, in the future, there might be a bunch of different options, different kinds of sound classifiers, or maybe a sound classifier you've trained yourself that you want to put in there. And I'll come back eventually and show you videos about how to do that. But for right now, I'm just going to say speech commands, and then I already forgot what it was called. So I'm going to go back to the ml5 website, which is here. I'm going to go to reference. I'm going to go to sound classifier, and I'm looking for it here. So it's speech commands 18W. This is a particular model that's been trained on 18 specific words, and you can see what those are. The 10 digits from 0 to 9, up, down, left, right, go, stop, yes, no. That's 18. 10 digits, 8 different words. All right, so now I'm going to go, so it's 18W. And then, once that model is loaded, I need a callback. So I could just say sound classifier classify. I'm going to just call it got results. So in other words, oh, it's not defined, right? So I'm telling the sound classifier to classify. Now, by default, it's just going to listen to the microphone's audio. Maybe in the future, in part of ml5, we'll be able to offer hooks to how you can connect it to a different audio source, but it's basically just going to work with the microphone's audio. Then I can write a function called got results. And I'm going to get rid of the draw loop because I don't need that right now. And let me just turn off auto refresh so that it doesn't keep refreshing. And then now, if you remember, ml5 employs error first callbacks, meaning the callback function requires 2 arguments. An error argument in case something went wrong, and a data or results or some other argument where the actual stuff is. So I'm going to say error, and then I'm going to say results. And then I could do a little like basic error handling. I'm just going to say, console log, something went wrong, and then I can also like actually log the error. All right, and then now I'm going to say console log results. So let's see if we get anything. Oh, I have to run it again. You can ignore this error. Oh, something came in. Ready? Up. Getting more stuff. All right, so pause for a second. Yes, so one thing I want to mention, so in the, a couple things. Zeed is asking, where's the Dinosaur game? Haven't gotten to it yet, coming soon. You'll see a reason why I'm doing this first, because I'm going to use this in the Dinosaur game. Other comment that came in from the chat, Alka points out that you can use unpackage.com/ml5 to get the latest version. I don't often recommend doing that because ML5 is a library in such flux that if you've written a project and you wanted to make sure it continues to work, the new later versions of ML5 could come out that would break it. So referring to a specific number is actually pretty good. Okay. This is why I forgot. I love using the P5 web editor, but it's hard to sort of debug these arrays because all this other stuff is coming out. So I think I have an idea. This is getting a little hard to debug just because so much stuff is happening here in the console in this huge arrays, but there's actually something that I missed that I could add here, which is an options variable. So one of the things I can tell, there's a lot of things I can set as properties or parameters for how the sound classifier should work, but there's a very simple one, which I'm going to just look it up in the documentation because I don't remember. It's called the probability threshold. So I'm actually just going to copy paste this here. What this means is basically the sound classifier is going to trigger an event where it's going to, right now I'm console logging all of this information about what it thinks it heard. based on a confidence level for how sure it is it heard one of those key words. And right now, a lot of those events are triggering because I don't know what the default probability threshold is. Maybe it was 0.7, maybe it's 0.5, but I'm going to make that really high. I'm going to say 0.95. So it has to have a 95%, the machine learning model has to calculate a 95% confidence score before it gives the event back to me in ml5. So let me do this. Let me run it. Up. Let me look here. Ugh, shoot. Well, I realize now what I need to do. I need to not talk. I said, let me give it 0.99. Let me try 0.99. Let's push it a little. Let's add 0.99. And then I'm going to say a word that I'm not going to speak anymore because I want to be able to look at that particular event. Up. Oh, you know what's happening? I think it's giving me background noise over and over again also. I don't know what's going on. This is not working well. You know what I'm just going to do? Never mind. I have an idea. Let me go back to where I was 0.95. Oh, I didn't pass the options. Thank you, Nathan. All right. Sorry. Once I've created that options variable with 0.95, I need to pass it into the constructor as the second argument. So now let me pass it in there. I'm going to run the sketch. I'm going to say the keyword up, and then I'm going to try to look into the console to see if that's what came in. Up. And there we go. Look at that. Now other stuff is coming in, but you saw it there. So rather than kind of debug with the console, let me actually put what I said onto the web page itself. And just pause for a second. Oh yeah, Ari, let me bring that up. Logging one of the items from the array would be better. Why don't I think of that? All right, let me go back. It'll be a better demonstration in the video ultimately when it gets edited. So this is actually object, label, and confidence. Okay. Also to make this easier to see, let me actually console log results index 0 label and results index 0, I believe it's called confidence. So rather than have this big array logging in the console, let me do this. All right, so now we need to have a 95% confidence, and I'm going to run this. Up. 1, 2. Down. Right, oops. Great. Back. Oh, it doesn't know what that is. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Here we go. All right. Great. Let me just do something really quick. I'm quickly adding background color white to the HTML body, because what I want to then do, just quickly before I finish this off, but to finish this off, let me just add a DOM element using the P5 DOM library. I'm going to just say result, P for results paragraph. I'm going to say result P equals create P weighting. And then right now I'm going to say result p.html, result label. Sorry, I lost my. Yeah, actually, so people are asking really interesting questions, which I want to get to in a second. All right. Then I can turn these. Then I can turn these results into a string by using a string literal. So backtick, and then put curly brackets, put a colon here, and curly brackets, and a close backtick. Okay. And let me also say result p style. Is it font size? Font size, just 32 points. So we'll be able to see it. All right, here we go. Ready for this? 1, 2, 5, up, down, left, right. Okay, so you could imagine now what you could do with this. For example, you could control a game with your voice. And in fact, I'm going to do that in one of my coding challenge videos. So take a look in this video's description. I'm going to do a coding challenge where I program the Google Dinosaur game. And then I'm going to add this sound classifier to have the dinosaur jump, because it won't be a dinosaur, it'll be a unicorn, to have the unicorn jump when I say the keyword up. All right, thanks for watching this additional ML5 tutorial video about sound classification in the browser. Oh, wait, no, I forgot to answer these questions. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'll just answer these now. Ari asks, shouldn't the browser ask for permission to use the mic? It should. I think that I have set, maybe I should mention this in the video. I'm gonna do my wacky, I'm going to give Mathieu a nice little editing challenge. I just want to stop and mention that if you're following this along, hopefully your browser is asking for permission to use the microphone. The reason why that didn't happen here in this video is because I've already set my browser to allow use of the microphone on the P5 web editor pages. But for security, you can't just access anybody's microphone from a web page without the user giving permission. So hopefully you saw that happen. And if you didn't, that might be why you run into an error if you haven't given that permission. Right? It should ask permission. Right? Let's see. Like if I go share and go to full screen or present, and then I go to new incognito window. Yeah. That's what you'll see. Oh, you don't see this. Sorry. That's what you'll see. So Mathieu, you can also like screen grab this and like use this or something when we add that. Okay. So I also want to mention up. I also want to mention that, and what time is it? 11:30. Oh, I'm going to take a break now, actually, before I do the Google Dinosaur game. So, because after an hour, I said I would take my break and look at a challenge on brilliant.org. But before I get to that, also was asked, Ari writes, for some digits, it picks up with just a part of the word. That's why you get multiple reads. So incidentally, something that's really interesting about this model that is not clear, that I'm not showing you explicitly, but I would like to come back to, and I probably should mention this in the video, is that if you can believe this, it's actually doing image classification. Now let's just think about that for a second. How is this sound classification model doing image classification? Just think about that for a second. Then I'm going to come over here and explain this to you. I turn the whiteboard on. Oh, why is this not working? And maybe Mathieu, maybe we'll splice this in. Let's splice this in. Okay? Everybody's saying how I'm ripping off of Code Bullet, as if the Google Dinosaur game isn't just like the most obvious thing to do. There's no way to not just do the same thing that everybody else is doing. Okay. Yes, all right. Everybody's making good questions. And why is all this stuff coming in here? Click over here. Okay, sorry. I also want to interrupt this video for a second to talk about how the sound classifier actually works. This is kind of a surprising little tidbit, and I'll come back to this more if at some point I create a video about training your own sound classifier. Now there's different ways you could do this. This isn't the way to make a sound classifier, but this is the way that this particular model works. It's actually, shockingly, amazingly doing image classification. So if you imagine we have this thing that's called a convolutional neural network. This is the underlying architecture, the structure of that machine learning model that does the classification. Typically, this kind of model is something that we would put images in. Like we might have images of cats, oh boy, and images of dogs. I don't know, is this a dog? Whatever, hold on, we gotta cut that. I'm gonna do a turtle. Images of cats. We might have like an image of a turtle. No, that's not really a turtle, but whatever. So the idea is that we're sending these images in and getting back a label and maybe a confidence score. So it's the same idea. The only thing is now we want to send in audio and get back a label like up or 1 and a confidence score. So how would we convert sound into an image? Now again, there are other neural network architectures of which you could receive sound data in maybe a more direct fashion. But if you've ever looked at a graphic equalizer or some type of sound visualization system, I've made examples like this in P5, you can draw something that's often referred to as the spectrogram, which is basically a graph of all the various amplitudes of frequencies, of the wave patterns of the sound itself. So if we took like a 1 second spectrogram and made that into an image, we could then send that image into a convolutional neural network saying that's the image that is produced from the spectrogram of somebody saying the word up. So underneath the hood, this machine learning system, even though it's designed to work with audio data, it first takes that audio data, converts it into an image, and then sends it through a very similar type of neural network architecture to standard image classification models. And you can read more about that in that paper itself. Okay. So let's look at the paper for a second to make sure I'm right about this before we include that. I don't know. I guess I'm looking for where it says that explicitly, but I remember reading about this and looking at, so I'm going to research that a little bit more to make sure I'm correct before we include that in the actual edited video. Esbern is writing, I just did my master's thesis around sound separation and spectrograms. Used to be the way to go. However, most people have now moved to 1D convolutions on the waveform directly. So Sanjit is saying do the dinosaur game. So Esbern, if you have any knowledge about this and can kind of like fact check what I just said in terms of this particular model, I would love to hear about that. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that's what it's doing. Because this model will actually draw the browser FFT. I'm pretty sure that's what it's doing. It's the spectrogram data. It's not really image classification because it's not, but yeah, anyway. I think that's good enough. Okay. All right, time for some dinosaur game. Shazam doesn't use image classification, but rather vector grouping. The idea is the same. Okay. Okay. So now I'm changing this back to Dinosaur game. How's the font size here? It looks a little small, actually. That's better. And what's the size of my background image? Let me just see. Oh, we're gonna do the Google Dinosaur game very soon. 800 by 450. You know what? I just want to make this 600. So let's cut some of it off. Why? Why must you do this to me? There we go. 600. There we go. There we go. That's better. It's kind of off kilter, but that's fine. Just because I want to have more screen real estate. Okay, great. Okay. Okay. So all right, let's. Okay. So what is it? It's 11:30. I have till 12:45, an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm definitely going to get to the Dinosaur game and then control it with speech. That's going to be fun. That I'm going to do after a short break. And then maybe I'll get started talking about processing libraries and see if I can get to that as well. Okay, so let's talk very briefly about Brilliant. So I am really thankful for Brilliant.org to be the sponsor of the Coding Train live streams. Brilliant is a website that I've been actually using myself quite a bit more recently, mostly, if I'm being honest, to try to look for ideas for coding challenges, because there are so many different types of puzzles and projects and courses that you can use. And what's the nice thing about it is, unlike watching a video tutorial, which maybe you like because you watch me in video tutorials, there are actually interactive lessons where you try to answer questions and through diagrams and animations and different interactive features to sort of play around with these different ideas. So one of my favorite thing, the way that I like to use this, so you can see here it's asking me to continue learning the computer science fundamentals. So this is a course that I have looked at and talked about. I did a coding challenge around programming stacks a while ago, the stack data structure. But what I want to look at is one of the daily challenges today. So let's look first together at how fast is an algorithm, because this is a computer science one. So I'm going to click on this, and let's read this through together and see if we can come up with an answer and answer it in the comments itself. Okay. An algorithm is a computational process, a set of instructions that you can follow to get a desired result. Okay, that's good. I understand that. This is true, I think. Computer scientists sometimes like to conceptually think about algorithms first and then program the algorithm on a computer later on. So measuring the speed of algorithms is a super important thing. So actually what would be interesting to do is try to also write a little bit of code in JavaScript that benchmarks how long something takes to run. Maybe we can add that in as our little exploration here. But what this is saying is sometimes you want to be able to predict how long an algorithm is going to take. It's not just about like writing the code and then benchmarking it. I've talked about this before. There's big O notation, or the order of an algorithm, which describes the sort of like amount of computational cycles for like the sort of worst case scenario. There's different ways of thinking about it, like the sort of average computational time or the worst case time. This here is looking at sorting algorithms, which is usually a place to start, and I've done a bunch of different sorting visualizations. Ooh, I like this. I kind of want to just program a nice little animation of things sorting. So most sorting algorithms work by comparing two elements and then swapping it. And actually, this relates to something that I want to do soon. I want to do a coding challenge on Delaunay triangulation, which involves looking at different ways to make triangles with a bunch of points and then flipping them, which is sort of a similar concept. Selection sort is a way of looking over the array many times, finding the largest or the smallest element and putting it in the end, then the next one and putting it in, the next one and putting it on the end. So this is giving us some information about selection sort and what the speed of a selection sort is, which is n, the number of elements in a list, times n minus 1, one fewer, divided by 2. So that makes sense because that's how many times you need to check all n elements, then n minus 1, then n minus 2, then n minus 3. Okay. So here's our algorithm that we're going to check. Alka's pointing out that he made an animated bubble sort. So maybe I can pull that up. So let's check out Alka's animated bubble sort. codepen.io/Alka. Oh, you have too many code pens. So I'm going to have to just go to it directly. Pen MGAKYK /write. Oh, I love this. Oh, whoa. These look like little planets too. That is so cool. I assume everyone's seen the Hungarian dancing sorting video. If you haven't, you should check that out. Okay, this is cool. All right, so thank you, Alka, for that. All right, so here's our algorithm. For each of the n numbers in a sequence, to check, okay, so we're trying to check if a sequence is sorted. So let me go over to the whiteboard here. That doesn't actually work. Okay, that's fine. Let me go over to the whiteboard here. And let's look at, we'll come up with an array. Let's give it of n equals 5. So we're going to start with n equals 5. And I'm going to make it sorted. So let's start with an array that I know is sorted, just to sort of look. I think that'll make it easier to look at. 1, 3, 7, 9, 12. So arbitrary sequence of numbers sorted. So the algorithm that we want to do is for each of the n numbers in the sequence, compare it with the number to its right if there is a number there. The sequence is sorted if every number is less than or equal to the number to its right. So we could start looking at it's going to give us multiple choice, but let's not even look at the multiple choice yet. All right, so let's look at this. So maybe in your head, so think about it. Maybe you just know the answer already. This is I would say, one of the easier daily challenges. Nothing is super easy. If this is programming and thinking about algorithms is new to you, this could be very difficult. But in terms of different sorting algorithms, we've got sort of like a basic level thing here. So I want to check each element against the one after it. So is 1 less than 3? Yep. Is 3 less than 7? Yep. Is 7 less than 9? Yep. Is 9 less than 12? Yep. Oh, there's no more numbers. I'm done checking. This array is sorted because I got 4 checks. And how many things? What's the speed? 4. It took me 4. It's not really like, it took me 4 kind of checks, 4 computational cycles. So for 5 elements, 4. So I think we can extrapolate pretty easily here, right? If we had 10 elements, how many times are we going to have to check? 9. So I think the answer should be n minus 1. I don't know. Is that the answer you got? I actually have not gone through and like checked with what it says on Brilliant or what other people have said yet today. So let's go through here. These are all of them. This wouldn't be so crazy to answer this, right? It wouldn't be so crazy to answer this at n, because you could sort of think of, and that might be the big O notation, because big O notation is kind of not giving you the sort of exact number, but sort of the, I guess the worst case scenario would be n minus 1, but the minus 1 is sort of irrelevant in terms of the order of the algorithm. It's either like n or n squared or log n. But let's pick n minus 1. Let's hit submit. I've got a one-day streak. So if you, by the way, use Brilliant and you have a nice longer than 1 day streak, like maybe tweet me an image, a screenshot of your streak. I'd be curious to see who's got the longest streak here of Coding Train viewers. Let's go continue. And we can sort of see, oh, look, now I can write an explanation. So let's write an explanation. Let's write an explanation of this. So first of all, even beyond an explanation, let's make a little code example. So I'm going to make an array, and I'm going to just put these numbers in it. And actually, let's put random numbers in it. So I'm going to say for let I equal 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus. Array index I equals floor random 10. The thing is, it's going to be so unlikely for us to end up with a sorted array, but that's fine. And now, what we're going to do is we're going to write this algorithm. So I'm going to say let sorted equals true. So I'm going to assume that it's sorted. I'm going to assume that it's sorted, and then I'm going to do every single check. And if it's not sorted, if one of these happens to be greater than the one after it, then I can say it's not sorted. And of course, I could break out. As soon as one is not true, I could break out, but I'm not going to bother with that. So let's then say, okay, so we want to say now, for let I equal 0, I is less than array.length, I plus plus. Let's do this. A is array index I. B, I can't type. B equals array index I plus 1. If A is greater than B, then sorted is false. Now, of course, I could add a break here, right? I don't need to check anymore, because if it's either sorted or not sorted. But just for the sake of argument, let's do this. And then I'm going to, at the end, say console.log array and console.log sorted. So let's see what we get. And we're going to have an error. Amazingly, we didn't get an error. So JavaScript is so happy to just like go with the flow here. Let's do a counter. Let's call this like n equals 0. I'm going to say n plus plus. Now, of course, we have I, so I don't really need to do this. But let's also console log n. So it should be 4, right? N minus 1. I got 5. Why did I get 5? Because I'm actually checking if the array has 5 things in it. Index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm checking index 4 with index 5, which is not existent. And I thought I would get an error, because I was programming in like Java or C. It would be like, no, I'm sorry, you're off the edge of the array. You've fallen off the edge of the earth. Everything has to stop. This program is shut down. But here, JavaScript is very happy to just sort of like try to go along anyway. So let's say, so this should really be array length minus 1. Because I don't need to check the last element against anything past it. There's nothing past it, just the second last element against the last. So let's run this now and see. Could we possibly, by doing this, ever randomly get a sorted one? What's the probability? Somebody should calculate this. What's the probability of picking 5 numbers between 0 and 9 in a row that happen to be sorted? It seems pretty unlikely. Let's make this 3. I think we'll have a pretty good chance with 3. There we go. We got it sorted. So it says true. So we know our algorithm works. We know it's n minus 1, because no matter how many numbers I put in, like I could put 100 numbers in, 99 checks, and it's false. Let's just do one more thing. Let's actually like look at how long it takes. So one way to do that would be to say let now equal millis. Right? So millis is a function. It would be like system.millis or system.milliseconds in native JavaScript, but P5 has that there. So I could say, and then I could say console.log millis, the current millis minus now. And it's really not now. I should say it's saved time. Let's call it saved time. So now this would be how long the algorithm takes. Whoa, that's weird. I shouldn't get a decimal number. Millis should be a, hold on. I thought millis is only an integer number. Let's go here. Let's see, what does it give us? Oh, so the millis function actually gives us milliseconds, floating point in milliseconds. So this was actually less than a millisecond it took, which makes sense. You know, we could try, I assume, if I were to make this like 100,000, then we might actually have an algorithm that takes a little bit longer. Did I make that more than 100,000? Wait, what did I just do? I crashed the browser. What just happened? I have an infinite loop somewhere. Yes. Exit page. Uh-oh. What's the chance? Oh, that's good. Save to okay. Let's make this 10,000. And let's see how long that takes. Yeah, 5 milliseconds. That's not crazy. 5 milliseconds. I think by the way, what I really need to do is move the dock to there. This will stop happening now. This will make it much easier. So 5 milliseconds. That's 10,000. Let's do 100,000. Millis is performance.now under the hood. Okay, thank you. Yeah, 100,000. Why? It shouldn't take this long. What's going on? Like filling an array with 100 elements and just checking each element against each other should be super fast. So weird. Let's wait a little longer. Any idea why this is taking so long to do the dinosaur game? Yeah, it's coming. I'm sorry, everybody. I should probably, whatever's in the title, I should probably do it first, which would make sense. Oh, it's crashing the console. Of course. Smash, thank you. Smash highlights in the chat. Of course. Of course, it's crashing the console. Stop. Okay. Of course. It can't handle console logging. Stop. Yeah. So let's see. Can I reclaim control of this browser? Probably not. Here we go. Benchmark. Brilliant. Puzzle. Let's get rid of this. Let's go to 10,000. Okay, 1.5 milliseconds. Now watch this. This should, now with 100,000, right? If it was about 1.5 milliseconds, it should just be 15 milliseconds. Actually, 1.8. I guess there's like some advantages in terms of, you know, just there's like time it takes to probably like get started with the loop once you're already in it. But you can see it's like less than 2 milliseconds for 100,000 numbers. Let's do 1 million numbers. 5 milliseconds. Okay, so we get the idea. We're benchmarking it. Let me go back to just 100. And let's take this. Let's finish this off. Oh, let's go back to here. And let's say the answer is n-1. Today on the coding train, we programmed a JavaScript demonstration of the algorithm and confirmed n-1 speed based on n elements. Here is the code. And then I think what I can also do is I can add this. I want to make an image. Look at this. Isn't this amazing that it supports LaTeX? Because you often need to do like math notation and stuff. And then I can also do this, which is always nice. And let's make this a little nicer. Let's do console log array.length elements speed equals n, and whoops, what did I miss here? What's wrong? Backtick speed equals, this looks right to me. I'm like losing my mind here. Oh no, I'm missing this here. Okay, and then sorted. Let's add this. Milliseconds. Let's add this. So our code example will be finished. Let's run it. Oh, nothing goes here. There we go. Coding is hard. There we go. All right. So let's do a nice little screenshot of this. Let's go over to the Brilliant website. Let's do this and go to desktop. Grab that screenshot, which is 11:55:06 a.m. And preview explanation. There we go. All right, I'm going to post this. And so, you know, if you're interested in trying out some of these challenges or commenting on this thread here, please go to brilliant.org/codingtrain. You can sign up for free. If you're interested in a premium subscription, which unlocks a variety of courses and additional materials, you can get 20% off for the first 200 people to go to brilliant.org/codingtrain from that URL. So thank you so much, Brilliant, for sponsoring the Coding Train. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, which should give you plenty of time to go sign up and give this a try, maybe comment on this or make a visualization of it. And then when I come back, yes, I know it's been like an hour and a half, and I haven't even done the Dinosaur game yet. When I come back, I am going to program the Dinosaur game, okay? So I will see you in approximately 5 minutes. All right, apparently, I messed this up here. Let's edit this. The link is not going to, oh, whoops. The link is not actually going to the sketch. I'm going to fix that. There we go. I don't know where mine went, but I think I fixed it now. Okay, I'll see you all in 5 minutes. As always, I always forget the this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do dot, this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot song. This dot, this dot, this dot. Never forget this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot song. This dot, this dot, this dot. Never forget this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do dot, this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot song. This dot, this dot, this dot. Never forget this dot. This dot, this dot, this dot. Never forget this dot. I'm gonna do the this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot, the this dot song. Never forget the this dot. Somebody compose that song for me. Shoot! I muted myself. What was so funny is I muted myself and I'm like undressing. I can only imagine what people thought I was talking about. All right, I think the sound is back. Okay, everybody, relax. I can see it. I'm gonna wait till the chat stops panicking, and you've caught up. What I was talking about there in my attempt to be humorous, because I am a humorian, a humoron is what I am. I really just want to see the chat stop saying that there's no audio. Eventually it will come back. We're back, okay. So what I was saying, two things is, hello, welcome, I'm back. I am doing the part you've all been waiting for, the coding challenge. It is time for the coding train, coding challenge, coding train theme song. Welcome to the Coding Train Coding Challenge. On today's coding challenge, we will be programming the new role-playing Dinosaur game. I also wanted to mention that I've started a new fashion trend here, which apparently is wearing your t-shirt, your bright yellow t-shirt, underneath your collared shirt, and having it just poke through right here, out of the sides. This I'm sure is like what all the kids are dressing like these days. Just note that the fashion trend started right here on the coding train, right? Yes. What you do is you get a brightly colored t-shirt that's much bigger than some other shirt you have, and it pokes out, and it looks really extra super cool. It helps if you have spindly arms with very small muscles like me. And then I was explaining that the shirt that I'm actually wearing is the I will refactor that later shirt, which you can get at designbyhumans.com/codingtrain or something like that. Music is too loud. Sorry. Boy, this is all a mess. Sorry about that, everyone. All right. Music too loud. All right. Is this an 80s style? Is this actually a thing? I didn't invent it. All right, we got to get a move on here. So let's see. Just want to get, oh right, it's over here now. Now, I'm trying to think. I thought this might be interesting to try P5 collide, just to use a library. Why not? It also is an opportunity to show JS deliver. So let me open those up. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. designedbyhumans.com/shop. designedbyhumans.com/shop/coding train. This is where you can get your very own, I'll refactor that later shirt. Okay. All right. Now we are ready to go. All right. I should definitely bring back the timer, right? All right. I have not practiced this. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we're going to do it. Okay. All right, coding challenge. This is going to be the last thing that I do today. Sorry, David Steiner and everybody else who's waiting for the processing library. At least if I keep putting it there, it'll make me sort of get to it eventually. Okay. Where's my train whistle? Do I even have a train whistle sound effect? Is the music too loud? Okay. Okay, hello and welcome to a coding challenge. Google Chrome Dinosaur Game Edition. Unfortunately, I don't have my train whistle. I didn't bring it with me today. I know, so this is definitely not going to go well. Not that any of my coding challenges ever go well, but I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to attempt to program quickly the Google Chrome Dinosaur game. I'm going to use my own images and stuff, so it will be the unicorn game, of course. I'm going to use P5.js, the JavaScript library P5.js, and I'm going to interact with it in a unique way that you have to stick around for the end of the video. I'll just tell you now. I'm going to try to control it with my voice. Okay, so you skip to the end. Maybe I'll be doing it there. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. So what do I need to do? So first I'm going to add, I'm in the P5 web editor, and I'm going to add a file. I'm going to call it dino.js. Even though it's not, no, let's call it unicorn. Unicorn.js. And that's going to be my unicorn. And what do I need? I also need to have, those are like cactus thingies. I mean, those are going to be trains. So I'm going to make a train.js, add file. So let's start by creating the unicorn, class unicorn. So I'm going to use object-oriented programming because, you know, I do. Basically, this, by the way, is exactly the same as Flappy Bird. So I'm really just doing the same thing over again, but whatever. This is a nice beginner-friendly challenge. So, and maybe using object-oriented programming is a little bit overkill, but let's give the unicorn a X location at 50 and a Y location, which will be height because it's sitting at the bottom of the window, but maybe I'll say like height minus 50 right now. And then I'm going to create a function called show, and I'm going to draw it. I'm just going to draw it as a rectangle right now at this.x, this.y, and I'll make it 50, 50. So this is the unicorn class. A unicorn object has an x and a y, and when I draw it, it's a rectangle at that x and a y with a width and height of 50. And those will probably need to be variables eventually. So let me make a variable called unicorn. I'm going to say unicorn is a new unicorn. And I'm going to say here, unicorn.show. And let's run this. There we go. Okay, so of course I forgot what I always forget, which is that I've added some new JavaScript files, and I need to reference them in my HTML. Unicorn, and what was the other thing called? train. All right, so that's a unicorn. And what I want is, let me play that game again. How does it work? It just sits there. And so every time I press the space bar, it jumps. So let's get it to do that first. Okay, so what does it need in order to be able to jump? It needs a velocity, a speed along the y-axis. So let's call this Vy, and we'll say that's 0. And we'll write a function called jump, which we will give it kind of this like instant force. So we're going to like push it up. So I'm going to say this dot Vy equals, let's say like -5. That's moving it up. And then I'm going to write a function called move, which says this dot y plus equals this dot Vy. So what we should see now is if I say unicorn.move, and then if I add function key pressed and say if the key is the space bar, unicorn.jump, this really is basically the same as Flappy Bird so far, then we should see that velocity kick in. So I'm always moving it based on whatever that velocity is, but the velocity is 0, the speed is 0, but as soon as I say jump, it sets the speed to -5, and we should start to see it move up. Okay, here we go, and I'm moving along here. I'm going to press space. There we go. Ah, goodbye, unicorn. See you later. All right, so we need gravity. So we need some form of gravity, which probably makes sense as a global variable, but I'm just going to, since the gravity is really only going to affect the unicorn, I'm going to put it in here. Let's say it's a 0.5. So gravity is, in a way, a counteracting force. So no matter what it's doing, the gravity is always adjusting the speed of the unicorn, the acceleration, basically. So what I could do now also in move is say this dot Vy plus equal this dot gravity. However, I don't want to ever let, you can see now it's gone. I don't want to ever let the unicorn fall off the bottom. There should be basically a ground level. So I'm going to do that. Let's say this, so let's make this 50 a size. Let's say r equals 50. So we're going to kind of use that for all the parts where we're drawing. And then I'm also going to say, I'm going to have a constraint. So I'm going to say this dot y equals constrain its current y value between 0 and really where it's sitting at the bottom, which is also height minus this dot r. So it's stuck there, and now if I press space, you can see it jumps. Now that's a very measly little jump. We need to be able to jump much more. So let's set this to like 25, and let's see what happens. Okay, that's too much. Let's just set it to 10, and maybe I need to make the gravity stronger too. So there's going to be a lot of fine-tuning of this. But let's just do that. And let's set this to 25. Whoops. And maybe let's set the gravity to 2. There we go. This feels a bit more like the dinosaur game. So this is kind of sad. Let's make our unicorn look a little bit more exciting. Let's load an image. So I have on the desktop here, I have some images. I have a background, which will be the background of the game. I have a unicorn. This will be the character with a little angry equal sign sitting on it. And then the train will be the thing it has to jump over. So so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add these files. I'm going to do add file, and I'm going to drag them in to the web editor. It uploaded all of them. And then in here, I'm going to add preload. And I'm going to have let u image, let t image, and let background image. And let's load all those. U image equals load image, unicorn.png. And we're going to do the same. For t image and background image, this is train, and this is background. Let's change the background to, so what did I get wrong here? Background is actually a JPEG. So let's have the background now be background image. There we go. And let's have the unicorn. Where is it be? I'm going to say image, unicorn image. There we go. Oh, it's so tiny. Oh, it's all pixelated. It's so sad. Let's change this to 150. But its x value shouldn't be. It should be here. There we go. So there's our jumping unicorn. I'm gonna make it wider. Time out for a second. Oh, I don't reset VY. Thank you. So that's a bug. German DK dev is pointing out a really important bug. Because right now Y is going down. And it really affects, no, but I reset it directly to -25, so it's fine. Oh yeah. Yes, I need to, so that I need to fix. Right, that's a problem. That'll be a bug I need to fix. So I'll fix that in a little bit. Let me make this wider. Move this over here. But this is not a lot of screen real estate to work with, so let me actually load a background image that's 800 pixels wide, which I think will be a little more, which will be a little better than 600. So Mathieu, we're just going to edit this part because this is the 800 wide one. There we go. Okay. Why is it so? It's because it's shrinking the image. Like this is, let me actually just fix that too while we're here. Like, I guess because it's so big, let me change it to just 200. I mean, I'm never going to have it bigger than 150, so let me do that. Let's see, what happens if, will it replace it? Let's see. Oh, no, it doesn't. Interesting. It renames it. Whoops. Let's delete this one. I don't know if this is going to create some kind of weird like caching issue. But let's do this. There we go. A little bit nicer. Okay. All right. If this dot y equals 0, where would I need to check that? Oops. Okay. So let's move along here. Ooh. Save from another window. That's weird. All right, something bad happened. Has anybody logged into this by accident? Anybody who knows the Coding Train P5 web editor? All right. Well, let's try to, I'm going to have to leave this, go back here. All right, it's fine now. Okay. Okay. Yes. Don't worry, Samuel, everyone's asking good suggestions. I'm going to fix that, but I'm going to wait. So, because I'm going to let myself cheat for a bit, and I'll fix that bug later. Whoops. It's really annoying how I have to click over here to get the focus. All right, my unicorn can jump, and I've made the background a little wider, which means now I need obstacles for it to jump over. And those are going to be little train things. So I'm going to make another class, call it a train, choo-choo. I'm going to give that a constructor. These will have also an x and a y. So the x will be, it's going to start off the edge. And the y will be actually also at the bottom. So height minus, I'll give it a size. And this dot r will be 100. And then, so now I need a show function. And that I'm going to draw as an image. My fingers are in the wrong place. The train image at x and y. This dot r. And let's also add a move function. And we'll say this dot x minus equals. And so the train, so this is a weird thing. It's supposed to be, oh, this is going to be a problem. My fixed background is going to make this visually a problem. And people in the chat are saying parallax background, please. All right, so maybe I'm going to get to that. This is going to end up being a longer video if I implement that. But really, the unicorn is moving. So the unicorn is moving, but the X stays fixed. The trains, oh, well, the trains could be moving if they're trains. That's weird. But they're supposed to be cacti. They're standing still, and the unicorn's just approaching them. But we're seeing it from the unicorn's point of view. Oy, I've really botched this. But what I'm going to do is just move them by, the whole scene is scrolling by 3 pixels, and we'll figure out if we can parallax the background maybe later. What do I even mean by parallax? To make it appear as if the background is changing, but off in the distance, so it's sort of moving at a different speed. But for now, let's just do this. Let's create an array called trains, and we're going to say train in setup. Well, actually, you know what we're going to do in draw? We're just going to randomly, we're going to pick a random number between 0 and 1, and we'll say like 1% of the time, we're going to say trains.push. We're going to add a new train. So it's going to be irregular. This is different than the Flappy Bird I made where I think the pipes, maybe it was irregular. I think the pipes were at regular intervals. Now there's a random chance of adding a new train, and then all of the trains that exist, we're going to say for all of the I'll just say t in trains. I'm going to say t.move, t.show. All right, let's see what happens. Do we have a train? Maybe I better increase this. Oh, we go. Oh, look at that. All right, they're moving. They're kind of slow. I'm going to jump over it. Oops. Okay. Let's make them move a little faster. Let's have them move by like 8 pixels. Let's also time out for a second. Let me fix the size. Also, just to like 200. This is a bug in the web editor. It really doesn't like me to delete a file. It confuses it. All right, so hold on. But I think we're going to be okay. Okay, so now the trains are moving a little faster. Let's see if I can successfully jump over them. Come on, let's see some trains. Oh, there we go. Okay. No, shoot. Here we go. Uh-oh. Okay. So we've got some tweaking we've got to do. Whoa, this is a nice way. Now, look, my unicorn can fly. So I need to fix the fact, I need to like not allow my unicorn to fly, right? I should only be able to jump if I'm at the bottom. So let's fix that. So to do that, I need to go into unicorn. And in the jump function, I should only be allowed to jump if I'm sitting at the bottom. So in other words, if y is, if I'm at the bottom. So as long as y is equal to, is this really going to work? I don't like to use equal checks, but this is by definition sitting at the bottom. So only if I'm sitting at the bottom can I jump. So if y is equal to that spot. Let's see if that works. So jump. This dot y. This dot y. Come on, trains. Oh yeah, yep. I can only jump when I'm at the bottom. All right, so that works. So that fixed. I think I need to be able to jump quite a bit higher. 50 might be too much, just doubling it. Whoops. Let's change it to 50. Let's change the gravity to 3. Still too much. Let's try 30. Let's try 35. I should really use like a slider or something. There we go. I think this is going to make the game more possible to win. There's too many trains. Too many trains. It actually doesn't seem weird that those trains are moving. Yeah, I can make an is. Pause for a second here. All right. Okay. All right. Double jump is also possible in the game, really? No. It seems like it jumps variable heights, though, no? Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe make a cool, all right. One thing that's bothering me is the trains are going in front of the unicorn. I know that doesn't really matter so much. It certainly doesn't matter. But I kind of would prefer them to be behind. So I'm going to move this here. I'm also going to make the game a little easier to play. I'm going to reduce the number of trains. So there's going to be a much lower probability of there being a train. Let's see if I can actually play this game somewhat successfully, even though I'm not doing the collision checking yet. No. I think if the trains move faster, it would actually make it easier. So let's actually double the speed of the trains. Whoops. Oh. Come on, train. So this is really a problem with the P5 web editor. I have to click over here. There we go. All right, this looks like this game is now possible to play. But I need to add collision detection. So I've done this before in plenty of other coding challenges. There's a pretty simple algorithm to just check if two rectangles are intersecting with each other or not. I can just check their x's and y, they're basically all of the edges, the left, the right, the top, the bottom against each other. But this is a nice opportunity for me to just explore a library that's out there in the world. And this library is called P5 Collide 2D. And it actually has a function in it called collide rectangle rectangle, and it'll give me a Boolean variable if I give it the x, y width height of one rectangle and the x, y width height of another rectangle. So let's actually just use this library. This is also a nice excuse for me to show you that GitHub is now integrated with something called JS Deliver. So this is an open source content delivery network, meaning if a JavaScript file is hosted on GitHub, I don't have to download that file and then add it to my project. I can just link to it. So I'm going to go over here to GitHub, and you can see here this is the address I need to use. So basically, I'm looking for something like this. Actually, I'm just going to, sorry, this is what I'm looking for. Any GitHub, oh no. Release, commit, or branch. Sorry, what am I looking for? user repo at version. I just want to get directory listing. I think this is all I want. I'm just going to use the end one. Okay. There's lots of different ways here that I can reference a file on GitHub. I think the easiest way for what I'm doing right now is just to reference its path. And here's an example path. So I'm going to go over here to index.html. I'm going to add another script tag. I'm going to say script source equals. I'm going to paste that in. Close script. But this is not the path that I want. I want the username, which is BMOREN. And then I want the path, which is, to this file. Let me go back up here. I want the path to, let's get the minified version of the library. And that would just be this, right there in the root directory. So I'm going to put that in there. And so now I'm referencing I think this is right. But I don't think there is. This library hasn't been published with like any kind of release. Right? There's no releases or anything. So now I'm just referencing that file. Let's see if that works. Not getting any errors. Let's see if I can call a function. Whoops. Let's see now if I can call this function. I'm just going to include it right here and see if I get an error in draw. Let's run the sketch again. Oh, collide is not defined. Is it not finding that file? Oh yeah, it didn't work. Fail to load resource. So what is it that I need to do? I should know this. GitHub raw convert to JS deliver. There's like a thing that'll show me how to do it. So hold on everybody. I should have figured this out in advance. Oh. Oh, I must just have to do this. It's probably this. Oh, and the camera goes off. I'm sure everybody in the chat has already told me. Oh, I didn't reference the repo. Thank you. Thank you. So it's, let me get it right. MORN, P5 collide 2D. Is it this full thing or? Look at your Slack chat. Oh, it's just that. Okay. So I don't need this. Okay, thank you. Let me go back. I don't know where I was. Okay. This is actually not correct. I'm referencing the CDN URL, the username, but I also need the repo name. So that should be p5.collide 2d/this. So this should now work, okay? And I should be able to use the collide function. So I'm going to use this collide rectangle rectangle. Let me just call this in draw to see if that works and doesn't give me an error. Great, no error. And so now I can check when I'm going through all of the trains if unicorn hits T, console log, game over. Okay, so console log game over. And then I'm actually going to say no loop. So I'm just going to actually stop the sketch, shut down the sketch completely, which isn't a really thoughtful user experience design choice, but it's what I'm going to do for right now. And then I just need to add a function here called hits and receives a train. And I can say, I can use this function, which I need this.x, this.y, this.r, this.r, and then I need exactly the same thing, but with that particular train. So instead of this, I'm checking this rectangle with this train's rectangle, and I'm going to put this in a variable called collide, and I'm going to say if, I'm going to return that. Actually, you know what? I'm just returning this. Return that. So return the true or false result of this collide function from that library. And now let's run the game. We'll wait for our first train. Game over. Let's see if I can play it now. Come on, train. Is it going? I can't tell. I'm waiting for a train. Oh. Ah, shoot. This spacebar thing is really awful because the window is not in focus, which is why it's going to be awesome when I change the interaction. This train is very late, much like the coding train. I can jump, though. Oh, there were so many trains a while ago. Oh, shoot. Is there a lot of empty space? Or I should check this. No, it's pretty close to the edge. Try one more. I'm going to try one more time to try to successfully jump over a train. I should make the rectangle a little bit smaller. Yeah, my array of trains is filling up. I definitely need to fix that. Whoops. All right, let's make the train a little bit smaller. And actually, let's make the unicorn smaller as well. Hopefully this will help. Make the game a little easier to play. Okay, come on, train. I'm going to successfully jump over a train eventually. Oh, shoot. No. Okay. All right, let's draw the box. Let's debug this a little bit by drawing the box, like very subtly. So let's draw a very slight rectangle so we can see how bad we are, how off we are. And let's do the same thing in the train itself. So this is what we're actually checking. There we go. Woo-hoo! It helps to see the full box. Come on, trains. Spawning a train with a mouse click would be a good idea. Okay, we lost. All right, so there's obviously a lot of gameplay improvements that need to happen here. One is I could be more thoughtful about, and you can see how there's some like wasted space here. I should crop the image and the actual rectangle a little bit smaller. I could consider using a circle. I could use a more complex shape, but this is good enough for right now. Let's actually make it, I could also like just click the mouse in order to start a train. That actually might help things. But let me comment out this. And what I want to do just before I finish it, and you're going to make a version of this with a score and all sorts of nicer things and sounds, but I got to finish this off. I got to finish this video. I want to control the train with my voice. So to do that, I'm going to use ml5.js, which has a speech commands machine learning model built into this JavaScript library. So I made a whole separate video about this particular pre-trained model and how it works. So I'm just going to add it pretty quickly into this video. You can go watch the other one for more details. But if you're looking for the documentation, if I click on reference and go to sound classifier, this is what I'm looking at doing. So first thing I need to do is, one thing I need to do is I need to go to get started, and I need to get a script tag to be able to reference the library. So I want to add the ml5 library, so I'm copying this. I'm going here to index.html. So in addition to p5 collide 2D, I'm now adding ml5. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to, in preload, I'm going to do let sound classifier. I'm going to create a variable. In preload, I'm going to say sound classifier equals ml5 sound classifier. And the model I'm loading is called speech commands 18W, because this is a model that's been trained to recognize 18 particular words. The numbers, the digits 0 through 9, up, down, left, right, and a few other ones that are documented on this ml5 webpage. Let's go look that up real quick. So if I go back to sound classifier, up, down, left, right, go, stop, yes, no. So those are the words it's trained to recognize. And I actually also want to get this probability threshold. So I'm going to add this in here because I want it to be really sure I'm saying jump. So I'm going to make this 95. This means it's got to be 95% sure, the confidence score that's coming from that particular model. And how that model was trained, and there's a whole paper you can read, and I've talked about that more in the other video. Okay, so now that I have that, in setup, I can say sound classifier dot classify. Then I can get a function. I'm going to call it got word. So it's got a word, got command. Let's call it got command. So this is a callback function that is going to trigger anytime it gets a command. It gets an error first callbacks, and then the results. So I'm going to say if there's an error, console. I'm just going to console error the error. Otherwise, if results index 0.label. So results is an array with labels and confidence scores. And the labels are the words, and what I'm looking for is the word up. If that label is up, then unicorn jump. So this is a really quick way of me looking for a particular keyword from that library. And I'm also just going to console log results index 0 dot label, just to see if I'm getting other words also. And we might as well log the confidence score just so we can see that. That might be good for debugging as well. So now that I've logged those two things, I'm going to run this sketch. Up. 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 Shoot. But you can see it got up 95%. Okay, let's see if I can time this correctly. Get one successful jump. Up. Ah, so close. Let me try one more time. I have to really anticipate it. Up. Oh, shoot. There's a little bit of a delay there. Oh, we're going to get this to work. Up. One more time. This is silly. I'm going to add the thing where I click the mouse. I'm going to add the thing where I click the mouse and I can give myself a train. And in fact, let's comment out the random trains. Also, I really should be more thoughtful about how I'm picking the train, like when the train should come. Like maybe there's a minimum distance between them. If I've just added one, can I have a longer train with other train cars? I don't know what's going on here. There's a lot of narrative flaws in what's going on here, but I'm just going to add one myself. Up. Up. Shoot. And maybe what I'll, yeah. Up. Up. Can I get 2 in a row? Up. Up. Oh, wait. One thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to make the collision a little bit less extreme. So I'm going to add a variable called buffer, and I'm just going to make that like 20 pixels right now. So x plus buffer, y plus buffer, r minus buffer, whoops. So I'm making each one of these rectangles, and actually I'm just going to say this. Let r equals this dot r minus buffer. I'll let r1 be that, and r2 be the train's r minus buffer. So this will be r1. This will be train x plus buffer, train y plus buffer, and then this is r2. So now it's a little smaller, and I could actually draw this just so we can see it. Again, I'm not being super thoughtful about this, but just so we can debug this and make this game a little bit easier to play and probably still feel pretty realistic. And let's go to the train, and let's do, whoops. Let's do the same thing. Oh, wait. Why is it off? I need to subtract buffer twice. Yeah. Right, because if I'm shifting it over, but only making it this much smaller, it's still going to end at the same place. I will refactor this later, you know. I will refactor this later. I will refactor this later, you know. I will refactor just change R. No, because R I'm using to draw the image. What time is it? 12:49. Okay, I really have to go. All right, let me just change it to a circle. I like that idea. Whoops. Hold on, let me undo all that. Mathieu, you're going to cut that out of the final version. Unicorn.js. Okay. Am I back at least to what I had before? All right. Jump. All right. Everyone is making the suggestion in the chat that I should change it to a circle. So that'll actually kind of be like a rounded, it'll give me a little wiggle room along the edges and make the intersection happen a little less often. So let's actually go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go into where the only place where I'm doing this collision detection is where? In the unicorn under hits. So I'm going to change this to collide circle circle. collide, circle, circle. And circle to circle assumes ellipse mode center. So I'm going to have to think of the circle as the center point of the object, which is not a big deal. So the way that I'm going to do that, let's make some separate variables. Let's say x1 equals this dot x plus this dot r times 0.5. So this would be the middle. This is the middle. And then r is the diameter of the circle, so that's fine. And this is y. And then x2, y2 is the train. Train.x, train.y, train.r, train.r. And so now I want collide, circle, circle, x1, y1, and then x2, y2. The question is r for actually the radius or is it the diameter? Does it say? Circle diameter, so I'm good. All right, so let's try this. And then this should really be, oh, this is kind of unfortunate. This should now be an ellipse. But oh, you know what I can just do? I can say ellipse mode corner. Perfect. So let's draw the hit circles. And under train, let's do the same thing here and say ellipse there. So this should now, we should see, here we go. That's what it's going to do. Okay, here we go. Oh, I have to click. Oh, whoa, what happened? I messed something up because the game is already over. Let's go back to my hits function. The browser is really just like, oh, you know what? Is something running on this page? Let's close that. It's really freezing up on me. All right, hold on. This looks right. .r. No, I didn't forget any. This dots. Something has gone wrong here. Train X. Is there a mistake in the library? Oh, whoops. Ah, yes. Okay. All right, I passed R in twice, which is very unnecessary. You just give it the diameter, not the radius, even though I'm calling it R once. And let's see what happens. Okay, here we go. Ready, everyone? Let's play this game. Jump. One more time. Jump. Wait, why is my browser really freaking out? Okay, let's comment out. Let's comment out the debugging. We're just going to go for it now. We're going to play this game. We're going to comment out the debugging. I'm going to close this tab. Quit Chrome. Give it a rest for a second. Come back. Oh, it's over here now. All right. We're about to play this game. Oh, up. It's up. I'm saying jump. Oh, up. Yeah, there we go. Up. 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 All right, ready, everyone? Up. Up. Maybe, I guess I can't use the music. Okay, ready everyone? Up. Oh, shoot. Here we go, everyone. Ready? Up. This is going to be fun for Mathieu to edit. Up. 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 Oh! Flappy Bird without pipes. Yes, exactly. All right, everyone. Thus ends this coding challenge. There are so many things that need to be added to this. Number one, the narrative makes no sense. Why is there this unicorn standing still without any animation? The trains are coming at it. The background should be sort of like in parallax moving. So probably it should be jumping over. I should have just used cacti. That's the plural of cactus, right? There's no score. There's no birds flying. You could add a flying asterisk. When I upload this, I'm gonna include when this video publishes, and with the code, I will include a lot of the coding train characters, which are designed by Jason Hegland, illustrated and designed by Jason Hegland. So I'm gonna include a whole bunch of those if people want to make a version of this game that we can all play online with speech commands. Let me try this. I'm gonna just say goodbye by trying this one more sentence. And yes, Alka is pointing out that speech detection API in the browser might be lower latency, but let's try this one more time. Up. 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 Oh, okay. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much, and see you later on a future coding challenge. Need more parallax. Yeah, no kidding. All right, everyone. Simon really wants me to show his sorting, so I will oblige. Sorting improved .simontiger.repl.co. Ooh. So we can look at different sorting algorithms and watch them visualized here. This is a really nice community contribution. You know what I didn't make? So let me go to thecodingtrain.com. So a couple things I want to point out. This is the last coding challenge, came out on this channel over a month ago. Wow. Not by that many days, but a month and 3 days ago. So when this one comes up, which will likely be early next week, you should go to this link on the Coding Train homepage, go to the challenge, and add a link to a version that you make here. And you can see there's a whole bunch here and I like to come and show these on the live stream when I can. I also want to just point out, though, that under courses, once again, there are now, this is also here. So you can go to this page, /courses/data and APIs, and you can see all the videos that have been released from this new series. But I just want to jump to this link and plug this one more time. Please check out, if you have some time and you're interested in learning this stuff, check out these videos and let me know what you think. These were done. This was a lot more work to do this, and it cost more money, frankly, to be honest, to put this together this way. But I think for sequenced content, having some animations and some post-production might be helpful for just kind of making the videos easier and more clear to watch. So I would be curious to hear your feedback from there. I don't know what people are talking about. Did I say jump again? I keep saying jump. Why do I say jump? It's up. Was I saying jump again? All right. Maybe I need to redo this little end just in case Mathieu needs another take. All right. We're going to play this game one last time. Is that why it wouldn't recognize me when I try to do the music? Up. Oh, wait. Up. No. doesn't like the music. All right, let's play this game one last time. Up. Up. Shoot. Okay, I want to get at least 4 or 5 in a row. Up. No. Up. 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 Oh, shoot. Let's see if I can get a double train. Up. Oh. Up. Oh. Whoops. Shoot. This fact that I have to refresh the page to restart the game is really terrible. Oh, I did up. Okay. And David is asking about the edited video on the AI cars. Yeah, we don't know what to do with that one. So Mathieu's going to be reviewing it over the weekend. I did a live stream where I made the neuroevolution steering cars. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I got to go. And that was a 4-hour live stream. And I'm trying to figure out a way to make that into like a less than 1 hour edited video. So I think I'm going to come back and record some additional content for that and edit that together. So that'll hopefully come out relatively soon. All right, I've really got to go. Thank you everybody for tuning in to the Coding Train. I will be back one day next week. I don't know when, I don't know why, I don't know how, but I will be back. I am later this afternoon recording a documentation video. And actually, if you're thinking about joining to become a patron or a member, I will do like a private, a member-only live stream of that recording session. But stay tuned, I'm going to document this setup here. Thank you again to Brilliant, the sponsor of the Coding Train live stream today. Go to brilliant.org/codingtrain to sign up, and the first 200 subscribers will get 20% off a premium subscription to Brilliant. Earlier in this live stream, I tried a little puzzle on brilliant.org, and you should check out my answer, reply to that, and try your own as well. Okay? Thanks everybody, and I will see you in the future. Lots more to come this summer. Very excited about all the content that I'm thinking about doing on the Coding Train. Goodbye. Oh look, up. 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 I really want to get 2 of them. Up. I think the microphone has it. Up. Up. Wait. Up. Shoot. Up. 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 Why did it stop working? Up. It's up, right? Up. Oh, the music. It's because of the music. It can't hear me over the music. Up. I'm going to get this. I cheated. I used the space bar. Up. Shoot. Up. 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 All right, everybody. I'll see you later.